The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast.
Plus,
joining me tonight is a man who, well, he believes in squatters' rights. Welcome, Jacob.
I do not. What the world are you talking about? Squatter, if you're squatting my house, get out. Now. I don't care how much cheer you have. Get out of my house. Especially if you're going to think you're the owner of the house. No, get out. Get out now. Why, thank you. Let me introduce our co-host. A man who was trying to find just a nice, warm place to sleep for the night, winds up falling in love with a girl who's a millionaire. Welcome, Drew.
Wait, really? I mean, I am looking.
Yes, he is.
I am available, ladies. Yeah, tonight, this is a Cellcast Plus episode, and we will be reviewing the kind of Christmas film.
Kind of Christmas film?
It happened on Fifth Avenue. This was a patron pick from our friend Wendy and Primo. I did send her the link that we were recording tonight, but thank you, Wendy, for choosing this for us to review this evening.
Yes.
But why don't we just go ahead and jump into the spoiler-free section of this review?
Exactly.
And
certified fresh and spoiler-free.
And the theme song is technically still going, but anyway. I think I have seen this one time before. Because I remember the part at the beginning with the guy being handcuffed to the bed.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was trying not to get moved out.
Get evicted?
I remember that part. Huh. The other parts, I'm fairly certain I had to have watched this. I don't know if I watched it all the way through before. But, and I could have watched this who knows how many years ago, I don't know. Because I'm sure this is one that pops up on Turner Classic Movies and AMC, all that kind of stuff. So I'm fairly certain I had seen this before, but this is the first time I think I actually paid attention to it, if that makes sense.
Fair.
This is actually a really sweet movie.
It is. Definitely for something that was made in the 40s.
Yeah. I mean, this came out the same year as Wendy's pick from last year, which was Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, okay.
In fact, it lost the Academy Award to that film that year.
That makes sense.
I am debating if this is actually a Christmas film. Because on one hand, it has a scene at Christmas. There is a guy dressed as Santa Claus.
True.
It does have a Christmas message. I would even go so far as to say it's got a redemption arc, which kind of helps it.
It does, in a way.
But
also, you got to think, most films of those decades had those same themes.
That's fair. And that's the thing. Because as y'all well know, I am in the minority in that I do not consider Die Hard a Christmas movie. I know. I'm weird.
Yeah, he's definitely weird.
The reason I don't, and for those who don't know, not that I'm not up for reviewing Die Hard during Christmas, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, keep that in your mind. Mm-hmm. But the reason I don't consider it is because to me, even though it's got Christmas carols, it's got Christmas imagery, there's a Christmas party, it's taking place, I don't know if it's on Christmas Eve or the week of Christmas, but it's happening at a Christmas party.
Yeah, it's the week of.
It's been a little bit since I've seen it. Mm-hmm. But I feel it does not have the Christmas spirit. That may just be a me thing, because it's not what I would normally consider a Christmas film, and that's why I think I have a knee-jerk reaction to people saying it's the greatest Christmas film that was ever out there.
Okay.
Which I'm going, I don't know if I can call it a Christmas film. But that being said, there are some things about my reasoning for that make me question if this is a Christmas film. because it's a lot of the same reasons one might consider Die Hard a Christmas film are in this too.
Okay.
I think this has more Christmas spirit than Die Hard has, which is why I might push me over the edge.
Huh.
But for the most part, I do kind of feel this is a movie that takes place at Christmas.
Okay.
Not necessarily a Christmas film, but you know what? To each their own. This is
fair.
Like I was actually telling Wendy the other night, I'm a veteran of the Star Trek, Star Wars fandom wars. I have waded through the internet gunk enough of my life. I don't need to wade through any more of it. So I don't fight this fight.
Fair.
But yeah, it's a good film. I enjoyed it. Definitely it's one the whole family can watch. I don't know how well your kids are going to want to hang out, because I think there's a couple of slow parts the kids wouldn't care about, but yeah, it's a good film. Go watch it.
Okay. So I had never heard of this film at all. The only time I'd ever heard of it was, Wendy's doing the Patron pick. Okay, that's great. Because Wendy picked a slammer last year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year with Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
So this movie, it is a good movie. Would I consider it a classic Christmas movie? Not so much. I feel like, yes, it is based during the winter. There is a Christmas scene where all of our lovely people are gathering in this other guy's house to celebrate Christmas, including the owner himself and his ex-wife and his daughter.
Not that anyone else is aware of that.
No, which is kind of weird to me. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's funny.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, haha. But I think at that point I got tired of the shenanigans that needed to wrap up a little faster. But I watched it. I think I had to watch it in 2 sessions. Because one, it was getting late, and I think I was letting myself get a little too frustrated with it. With the let's pretend this. Okay, our
were you taking this film a little too seriously?
Maybe.
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe. And taking our main, he's not even really the main character, but our
I'd consider Jim kind of the main character.
Oh, it's not even Jim. Jim. The what's his McKeever?
Oh yeah, McKeever.
Yeah, McKeever. I'd be like, I was having more issues with his character. But I understand why people want to call this a Christmas movie. I get it.
Yeah.
I may not, fall into that camp.
I had a feeling you wouldn't, because I know your feelings on White Christmas.
Well, I mean, I enjoy...
Not to throw you under the bus for that film.
No. I enjoyed White Christmas. I enjoyed this movie to an extent. I think White Christmas might be a little more of a Christmas movie than this movie. I might be wrong. Again, your opinion and your opinion may vary, with mileage or whatever. But I enjoyed it. There were parts of it. I think it's a little too long in the tooth of a movie. There's so much up front with the first act and second act. It seems like the third act is a bit rushed because it's
I will say that's kind of a standard for that time period. Where it doesn't pace exactly the way we're used to. There are some movies that do, but they're few and far between. But yeah.
Yes, Wendy, overthinking? Oh yeah, I overthought this movie way too much.
This is nothing new.
No. I think me and her had a wonderful conversation. I think Friday, actually, when we rescheduled for I can be down at the hospital with my wife when her mother was having surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I do have a tendency of being a little too serious about movies or being overanalyzing it or overthinking things. Surprise, surprise to nobody who actually knows me.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. I would not say it has Christmas themes in it. It's along the same vein of White Christmas. There are Christmas themes in it, but I don't necessarily I think White Christmas is more of a Christmas movie than It Happened on Fifth Avenue. That's just my opinion.
Fair enough.
I might be like, you may say, oh my gosh, this is a classic. Well, fun fact, movie was forgotten for about 30, 40 years, and people rediscovered it, and it's like, oh, this is a Christmas movie. And it started becoming more and more of a cult classic in that.
Yeah, that happened to a degree with It's a Wonderful Life also, because it's not really a Christmas film either. It just gets played at Christmas.
It gets played at Christmas.
And that's why it became a Christmas movie.
Yes. Thanks, Wendy.
For those of you in the audio, Wendy says, we love you anyway.
Anyways, it is an enjoyable movie. To me, it's a little too long in the tooth. They could have wrapped this up a little bit better, but it's just I understand what they were doing with timing, and there's a lot of in the third act that just it's like, okay, this happens. That's about it. But it's a good movie. Would I consider this a classic Christmas movie? Probably not. But again, your mileage may vary.
Right.
Anyway, so that's my first.
And bear in mind, these are our opinions.
Yeah, exactly.
We can be wrong.
Yeah, we can be wrong and be like.
In fact, don't take our word for it. Do like you should be doing with your pastor at church. Watch it for yourself and decide if we actually know what the crap we're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, and let us know down in the comments section down below wherever you're listening to us, and just get a conversation started in either on Facebook, Instagram,
wherever,
Discord, wherever. Get a conversation started. Either or.
Either way.
Yeah, that is.
Why don't we go ahead and jump into the spoiler-filled section of our review?
Yes.
The following is a spoiler-filled review for the film It Happened on Fifth Avenue. Listener discretion is advised. It Happened on Fifth Avenue was directed by Roy Del Ruth. And one thing you're going to find quite often in my cast and crew list tonight is I don't know who half these people are. So I picked a lot of times what was in the what they're known for section on IMDb. Just giving y'all a heads up. But he directed something called The Desert Song, which I know nothing about. It was also written by Everett Freeman, Vic Knight, Herbert Clyde Lewis, Frederick Stefani, and Ben Markson. Getting into the cast, we've got Don DeFore as Jim Bullock, and he played a character named Michael Kent in Romance on the High Seas. Anne Harding played Mary O'Connor, and she played Claire Woodruff in When Ladies Meet. Here's one I actually did know. Charles Ruggles played Michael J. O'Connor, and he was Charles McKendrick in The Parent Trap. Victor Moore played Aloysius T. McKeever, and he was Pop Cardetti in Swing Time. Gail Storm played Trudy O'Connor, and she was Catherine Mallory in Between Midnight and Dawn. Here's another one I actually knew. Grant Mitchell played Pharaoh, and he was Reverend Harper in Arsenic and Old Lace. One you would probably actually enjoy, even though it's an old black and white film.
Oh, it's black and white.
Well, I know you. I'm not throwing you under the bus. I just know that is where your blind spot is black and white films.
Used to be.
We're fixing that.
Yes.
Edward Brophy played Cecil Felton, and he was Morelli in The Thin Man.
Oh.
And this is one I recognized when I saw the name, not necessarily when I saw the actor, because he's put on a little weight between this movie and what I know him in. Alan Hale Jr. played Whitey Temple, but he is the skipper on Gilligan's Island.
Oh, okay.
And he does definitely... Hang on, you don't know Gilligan's Island?
I plead the fifth.
It's in color. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I forgot your other blind spot. Old sitcoms.
I just never watched it. That's all. I know of.
I'm not going to play it.
I know of Gilligan's Island. Right. I'm not a dunce when it comes to that.
Okay.
I just never watched it. We never watched it as kids.
That is fair. It's not a show I would actually expect you to like because I think it's a little too silly for you. Perhaps I could be wrong. You should watch it anyway. Give it a try.
Yes, I know, Wendy. Yes, shocker. I've never seen Gilligan's Island.
But, yeah. Dorothea Kent played Margie Temple, and she played Amy Arden in The Last Express. Another one I wasn't sure on. So, and you could probably all guess how many Kingdom Hearts connections are in this, but
womp, womp, womp.
Yeah, it's a goose egg.
Goose egg.
0. There was a chance, but unfortunately, none of those actors came across. So what do we got in info and stuff?
All right, so IMDb has a 7.6 out of 10. Pardon me. Rotten Tomatoes has an audience score of 81%. There's no reviews on this.
It's a touch on the old side.
Yeah, it's an older film, but it's not one of those classic films that everybody's watched.
Yeah, and I will say the way we were able to watch it, I'm assuming you watched it on Prime like I did.
I did.
It was only available in standard definition, so on the streaming, it's not even been given a high definition release yet.
No.
So,
yeah,
just to give an idea as to how often people are looking for this one.
Yeah. So, let's see. Available to watch on Amazon Prime for $3.79 if you want to stream it. I think for me and Ashley, my wife, she had some credits built up on Amazon, and so we were able to buy it for free. We literally just downloaded it for free. And so that's how we watched it. That's how I watched it, and she listened to my very vocal commentary about it. Physical, you can buy it for $9.99 on DVD on Amazon Prime. Or Amazon Prime, whatever you call it.
Prime Video.
Prime Video, whatever. Production was Roy Del Ruth.
Roy Del Ruth.
That's a.
He was also the director.
I'm aware. Production. Distributed originally by Allied Artists. Its runtime was 116 minutes. I think that's a little too long, but again, my opinion. Its release date was on April 19th, 1947 in Malibu, Florida. And its premiere was on May 16th of the same year in Los Angeles. Let's see, going into the box office. Let's see, it had an estimated budget of $56,999. Again, this is the late 40s, after the war, after World War II. Its approximate box office revenue was $72,749.
Inflation has gone up since then.
Yes, just a little bit. Let's see, its home release. It happened on Fifth Avenue, was a part of a package of 49 monogram and Allied artists featured from the late 40s into the late 50s that were licensed for television in 1954. On November 11th, 2008, Warner Home Video released the film on DVD for the first time. And in 2014, the film was made available for streaming and download on digital format. In December 2nd, 2020, it was released on Blu-ray by Warner Archive Video. So that is all I have for info and stuff. And yes, I am very vocal.
Getting into the summary, vagrant Aloysius T. McKeever lives in the Fifth Avenue mansion of industrial magnate Michael J. O'Connor.
He squats in it.
The world's second richest man. Whenever O'Connor winters at his Virginia estate, McKeever allows ex-GI Jim Bullock and 18-year-old runaway Trudy, who is actually O'Connor's daughter, to live in the mansion. Jim and Trudy fall in love because of a housing crisis. Jim and Trudy fall in love, period, because of a housing crisis. Jim invites war buddies Whitey, Hank, and their families to share the vast mansion until they can find homes of their own. When Trudy encounters her father, she tells him that she is in love with Jim and that she has been lying to Jim about her identity because he wants to win his love without her wealth. Trudy persuades her father to pretend to be a homeless man named Mike and to move into the house. McKeever reluctantly admits Mike, but treats him as a servant. When Mike becomes angry and wants the squatters vacated, Trudy calls her mother Mary, who divorced O'Connor several years later, in Palm Beach for help. Mary comes to New York and pretends to be another homeless person to join the squatters. Sensing that Mary and Mike have feelings for each other, McKeever nudges them together. Mike reconciles with Mary and proposes marriage again, and she accepts. Earlier, McKeever had shared with Jim, Whitey, and Hank an idea to convert unused post-war army barracks into housing and had persuaded them to bid for an army camp on the outskirts of New York City. Jim and his friends raised money for many other GIs in the same predicament. O'Connor also wants the property to build a transportation hub, and a bidding war ensues. Attempting to repel his daughter's suitor, who is still unaware of Trudy's real identity, O'Connor arranges to have the construction company reject Jim's conversion plan. Instead, they offer Jim a well-paying job in Bolivia, but he must remain single. Jim rejects the offer, unwilling to abandon his country and fellow veterans. Celebrating Christmas Eve together, the residents are caught by two patrolmen who check the mansion every night. McKeever convinces them to let the family stay until the new year. Jim reveals that the camp has been sold to O'Connor and later tells Trudy that he is considering the job offer in Bolivia so that he can earn enough money to marry her, but Trudy severs their relationship. When Mary and Trudy discover that Mike had manipulated the situation, Mary tells him that she and Trudy will leave for Florida in the morning. Ashamed, Michael tells Jim that he has arranged a meeting with O'Connor at O'Connor's office. At the meeting, Jim, Whitey, and Hank find Mike sitting at O'Connor's desk and believe that Mike is delusional, trying to stuff him into the closet before O'Connor arrives. Mike is rescued by his assistant, who reveals Mike's true identity to the three friends. Mike then transfers ownership of the camp to them, provided they do not reveal his identity to McKeever. That night, everyone shares a New Year's Eve dinner before restoring the house to its original state. Mike and Mary reconcile again, Trudy and Jim reconcile as well, and they all bid farewell to McKeever and his dog as he leaves to squat at the O'Connor's estate in Virginia, still unaware of the truth. Mike tells Mary to remind him to patch the back fence, though which McKeever accesses the property, declaring that McKeever will enter through the front door next winter. Getting into the trivia. This movie was originally planned to be directed by Frank Capra, but he instead chose to do It's a Wonderful Life.
I wonder why.
By coincidence, when Gail Storm is auditioning for the job at the Times Square music store, in the background is sheet music for Oh Susanna. 9 years later, that would be the title of the Gail Storm television show. The stew made in the film is called Slumgullion stew, which is similar to American goulash with ingredients of beef, pasta, and tomato sauce. Not beef.
Beef or
beef.
bit?
Beef as in cow.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Not beef, which is what I said.
This was beets.
Beef, yes.
What's for dinner?
This is actually the first production of Allied Artists Pictures, which was the A Picture division of Monogram Pictures, which primarily did a lot of budget films. The film went 30% over budget. Lastly, the men are getting paid $1 an hour for shoveling snow. $1 in 1947 is worth about $11.50 in 2020. And it's probably gone up since then in the last 5 years.
Inflation.
But that's all I got for the trivia. What's your first like for this film?
My first like would be the 1940s love story. Which is like, if you've ever watched a movie from the 1940s into the 50s, they are very textbook of how they go about a young couple. They lock eyes on each other and instantly they're in love with each other. Either it's, she's this and this. It's always, it's a very similar vein of kind of a storytelling. Be like two characters, they obviously are smitten with each other at first glance. In that first couple of days, they fall head over heels and they gotta get married, but there's always a catch. There's always either the dad's disapproving, the mom's disapproving, something goes awry. There's always a conflict. There's always maybe it's a job offer, maybe it's this, but they always wind up either reconciling their differences and falling madly in love with each other and getting married at the end. Or lead to agree to get married at the end of the film. It's very classic, very that time period of kind of movie. So I'd be like, I appreciate being like, I'm not the biggest fan of that because there again, that kind of storytelling is kind of falling out of style. But if you take it within the context of the movie, be like, it's very sweet. It's one of those where for someone, it took a year and a half, nearly 2 years for me to pop the question. You don't fall in love with that fast, as far as I understand. But overall, be like, I did enjoy the story itself. I did enjoy because be like, you can see it coming from a mile away. You can see the, Mike coming in and it's like, okay, and so, Dad's not playing along, so I'm going to get Mom involved. And Mom's going to do this. And okay. Oh, they're divorced. Oh, okay. Of course they're going to get remarried. Of course. That's what typically happens. But, I did like the character dynamics of the romantic. I wasn't even not going to say it's a subplot. It turns into the plot of the film, which is very common for movies of this age, is that you have boom, boom, boom. Here's your romantic story. That's what we're playing for. That's how you get people's butts and seats. Is this romantic it's kind of a romantic comedy that is seasonal. And I do enjoy it for its time period, and what used to be. So I do appreciate that. And I do enjoy it to an extent. So that is my first like.
My first like for this film is how it feels like it could have been a stage play.
Oh yeah, it was actually.
I'm not surprised, but I like how they didn't have to feel like they had to go all over creation to handle this, because you look at like what one we did last year, Miracle on 34th Street. They took over the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade that year.
Oh yeah,
and shot all that on location, and then they shot it in Macy's, which is all great and everything, and adds realism to it. This didn't have to do that. It was able to had this one big set, maybe like 2 or 3 different sets, but it all took place in this one house. And yeah, there were some scenes that took place elsewhere, but I mean,
on blue screen.
I wouldn't be even that back then. It'd probably been rear projection.
Oh yeah, it would have been rear projection.
But in fact, that's going to come back up later.
Fair.
But I liked how this felt like it was centralized, and I think that helps the story, because it is a bit of a goofy story. Yeah. With a lot of misunderstandings and all that kind of stuff, which is what makes it funny.
True.
And I think if it had been located like all across New York City, it would not have worked as well in that situation. But because it was all placed in this one house, and you got to know this cast of characters, and granted, none of these characters are very deep. Yeah. But you got to know who these casts were. You understood how they were going to come together. And sure, you saw how stuff was going to happen, but it's not about what happens, it's how it happens.
Okay.
I just liked how this could have been. I feel like this, you said it was a stage play. I'm not surprised. Yeah. But I liked that feel of it, because I'm a theater kid. I was in theater in high school, so I kind of have an appreciation for that sort of thing. So yeah, I liked the theatricalness of it, you could say. What's your second like?
So I did make an error there. It wasn't a stage play. It was a radio play.
Radio play.
It was in the 50s.
Fair.
And they got the 2 main leads to come back for it. So
that would have been after the fact then. But but I really could see someone adapting this into a stage play.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all.
Easily.
Yeah. So my second, it kind of ties into yours, the comedy aspect of it. You'd be like, again, you have this movie that's full of shenanigans. It has a man who is, I don't want to say a bum, but he does describe himself as a bum, but a squatter.
Yeah, a vagrant.
A vagrant. There we go. That's a better word. Vagrant. Be like he. O'Keever. That's it.
Yeah,
O'Keever. McKeever. Yeah, McKeever.
It's McKeever and O'Connor.
Yeah, McKeever and O'Connor. McKeever. Honestly, I like all the other characters except McKeever. I really don't like McKeever as a character, but
I had a feeling you wouldn't.
I really didn't like him. Like all the other characters be like, well, correction. Let's boil it down to who actually are the characters. You have Jim. You have the daughter,
Trudy.
You have Trudy. You have Mike or Michael, and then you have his ex-wife.
Yeah.
What's her name?
You would ask that.
I would.
Hang on, because I can't tell just by looking at the cast list. Mary.
That's right. Be like, that's your main cast. You have all these other little, and of course McKeever. McKeever's a main character, but everybody else is be like by the second act have become secondary characters.
Yeah,
they really
they're
have
not the core of the story.
They're not the core of the story. They're just there. It's like you have Jim, everybody else be like, that is the main core of the story. But I did like the there were points where I was busting a gut. I was like, okay, that's funny. Definitely the scene where it's Jim and what's her name? Sorry?
Trudy.
Yeah, they're on a date after Christmas, which that scene, which to me makes no sense
with the waiter.
With the waiter. Be like, the scene makes no sense.
Yeah.
But the comedy aspect of it is hilarious because you have this waiter who doesn't say a word, who just, be like, they're trying to like, what kind of establishments, and be like, he at one point, he literally takes the table, moves it out, puts another one down, and Jim just kind of touches it and moves again. He's like, forget it. I'm done. Be like, there are certain comedy aspects of this movie, which is genius, which I enjoyed. And I was like, okay, this is good. I enjoy that aspect of it. So, yeah, the comedy of this movie, again, go back to the 1940s, late 40s, after the World War II. And, yeah, it's like, okay, that's cool. I enjoyed that kind of comedy. All right. What is your third dislike? Third like.
Second like.
Second like. Sorry. Second like.
My second like is the reconciliation between Michael and Mary.
Oh, okay.
Because they obviously have been divorced. They fell out of love with one another because Michael fell in love with money when you want to get right down to it. He fell in love with the business and getting the business done, and the stuff he enjoys about being a businessman, that became more important to him than his wife and his family, which is a danger.
Right.
But them both being in here without all the pretenses and all the other stuff, he was able to remember why he loved her. And I think she was able to remember why she loved him originally. Yeah. So that I loved them being able to come back together. And it's actually Mary telling him that you haven't changed at all.
Yeah.
When she finds out that all the stuff that Michael's done to stop this from happening. I really do think that's what got him to start thinking, maybe if I want to keep this, I need to change.
Yeah.
I need to understand there's more to it. I just like them being able to come back together, and that's what them reconciling is what eventually will allow Jim and Trudy to come together.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And
even though that's not really seen on screen, because the last time we see them, it's in that restaurant, and they're arguing with each other. And they split off. We never see them come back together, except for the very end, and like, oh, we're getting married. When did this happen?
Well, there's a lot going on at the end. That was not the focus at that point. It was getting the barracks, and honestly, once she found out, because I'm fairly certain at that point, Michael maybe went and talked to her and said, okay, here's what happened. Please don't tell McKeever because I'm trying to keep it from him. Keep the fact that I'm the guy whose house he's squatting in.
Yeah.
Trying to keep that from him for some reason.
Yeah, some reason.
But, well, you don't want to... I could see how that would cause an issue if he let that out. Especially right then. But, anyway... I liked how that the reconciliation of the one relationship was going to allow the other one to solidify, and I thought it was done. They did that very well, actually. So yeah, the reconciliation of Michael and Mary's relationship is my second like.
Okay, so my third like is going to kind of tie into yours. Well, Michael's transformation, almost the softness of his heart. That you have a guy who is very business savvy. He's very entrepreneur, high capitalism. Be like, I'm going to buy this and we're going to do this and we're going to make a ton of money out of this. Which, again, capitalism is not a bad thing. Let's just say that. Be honest. It's not.
It's abuse of capitalism.
It's abuse of capitalism is the problem.
That is a different thing.
That's a whole different animal. But Mike's ambitious. He's driven. And that's what led to his wife leaving him and his daughter just, not speaking to him, even though she comes back to his house to go get stuff after she flees the college she was at. But, well, I think in the movie they do they have a good relationship. I think so because it's very plain. But because he is concerned when she does leave.
Yeah. And granted, yes, you do have that love at first sight thing you talked about not liking. They do spend a month together to the point where, in that concentration, I am a lot more likely to believe that love would would be a little bit stronger than, you know what I mean,
right?
I could see them coming together in that time because I
could see that,
and there have been plenty of people who have met, fallen in love, and married in an incredibly shorter amount of time than that.
Oh, agreed.
That are still great love stories in reality. So
agreed.
Yeah.
But I love Mike's transformation. He goes from what he was before to when Mary shows up on the on the scene at his house that McKeever is squatting on, and I'll keep going at that. But
that's what he's doing.
That's what he's doing. Yeah,
this is the 40s. Is when this is supposed to take place. The guy's never really bounced back from the Great Depression,
right?
And he found a way to live comfortably. Where it's illegal what he's doing, but nobody got hurt. I'm not saying it's a good thing to do what he did, but at the same time. Until his daughter called him, Michael didn't know.
That is true.
So he was obviously doing a good job because he's going back and forth between his summer home and his winter home.
Either or.
How the servants don't notice that, I don't know.
You're not kidding. But either or. I do enjoy Mike kind of turning, his heart turning softer when he realizes that. Like when Mary just says, "You haven't changed, Mike. You haven't changed a bit," and storms off. And he realizes that he needs to do something different because he's obviously in love with Mary again, or he never fell out of love with her.
Yeah.
He just his love for her kind of changed because of his ambition. But
he let it go to the back burner.
Yeah, he let it go to the back burner.
He didn't realize how much of a mistake that was until much later.
Oh yeah. And until that encounter with in the house, and I do say it's a nice turn, especially when Jim and his pals show up at Michael's office, and it turns as he's actually Michael. He's not Mike. And it's like, okay, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that aspect of it. I did enjoy that he does turn over the deed to the encampment to them to, fulfill their dream or what they want to do. And I can see more things being more problematic, especially with talking McKeever. It's like, you don't need to get the rest of it. Just, this and this and this. what I would have. Well, Michael did give them the deed, so it'd be like they do have the money now to, do that.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But I do enjoy where he does turn a leaf. He does change.
Mm-hmm.
And he becomes more of a, he's not so hardened, like his heart and softened to the needs of others. And I do enjoy that aspect of Mike's transformation. So that's my third like.
My third and final like for the film is, get right down to it, it's going to be Jim and Trudy.
Okay,
as a couple. Granted, I don't really like Trudy leading him on, but that's kind of the whole reason this story even works, is because she's leading him on as, oh, I'm not rich. I want you to fall in love for me, not with my money, which I get.
Yeah.
I can see how that is an issue. At the same time, after about, 2-3 weeks, once you tell a lie, it's hard to get out of the lie, even if the lie is well-intentioned. It's the problem with not telling the truth.
That is true.
And so at some point, granted, I know exactly the point in time he knew. He knew when he walked into Michael J. O'Connor's office and saw Mike there and went, wait a minute.
It's like, she's got money. Okay, let's do this.
That wasn't the reason.
I know.
Because at that point, he had fallen in love. At that point, it's just like,
that was a nice, happy bonus.
That's icing on the cake. We'll live comfortably in our future.
Yeah,
while we're still able to do this nice thing for the old GIs who can't get places to live. Which,
if you look at historically with movies like that, it's most of the time. You have the character who is rich, who's well off, and they wind up falling in love with each other. So you have characters who are rich at the end of the movie,
which is fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. That doesn't mess with me too much. But I like the idea that this guy who was living in one of O'Connor's apartments, who was getting evicted because they're going to tear the building down, can't find a place to sleep, happens to run across McKeever, who says, hey, I got a place for you to stay since you helped me. And it happens to be O'Connor's house. And then it happens that O'Connor's daughter comes there to pick something up. They think she's in there stealing. She realizes that and decides to play into it after overhearing them talk. And it's at that point you've got the lie going, and it's like, well, I can see how that lie works for a couple days, a couple weeks, but then you get her dad in there, the actual Michael J. O'Connor, who is doing his best to play by the rules his daughter set. Yes. But there's still plenty of times he's wanting to say, do you know who I am? I'm Michael J. O'Connor. This is my house, and all you get.
Yeah. And, by the way, O'Keever, be like, you're my servant. Thank you very much.
Well, maybe not.
That would have been a harsh...
Yeah.
I could see it now, but at the same time, be like, hey, O'Keever. Oh, by the way, this is my house. By the way, be like, if you want to come live here, it's perfectly fine. You just got to work.
He could house sit. That's what he was basically doing anyway. He didn't have permission to house sit.
No, he didn't have house permission at all.
And to wear his clothes. And to walk around town in a top hat.
Yes. And to smoke his very fine cigars and wear his clothing,
which brings up
his food,
which comes up with a lot of other logistical questions about how all this works.
Exactly.
But we can talk about that later.
Exactly. Thank you.
But back in the like section,
okay.
I do like this love story. It's a bit fairy tale. Admittedly, there's nothing wrong with fairy tale. I enjoy it. It's nice.
Yeah.
And that is one thing that does make this Christmassy, is that it is a fairy tale to a degree. And I do enjoy that aspect of it. And it's nice to have that, we've reviewed a lot of steak, metaphorically.
A lot of steak.
Yeah, like Boy and the Heron. I would consider that steak.
Oh, okay.
Neon Genesis Evangelion, that is steak. It's thick. It's meaty. There's a lot to figure out, to work through. Mm-hmm. This is cake. This is simple birthday cake.
Yes.
There's nothing fancy here. It's sweet. It tastes good. Let me rephrase. This is a donut.
Oh, okay.
This is a glazed donut from your local coffee shop.
Nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy.
Okay.
It's good. You'll enjoy it. It's
easily digestible.
It's easily digestible. Is it going to do like Miracle on 34th Street did and bring the house down with its incredibly clever storytelling? Mm-hmm. No. It's not telling that kind of story.
Yeah.
It's telling basically, like you said, it's basically a romantic comedy.
It is.
Without it being like he's in love with her, but she's in love with this other guy. This guy's in love with the first girl, and ying, 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 ying. There's no love triangles or love rhombi or whatever. This is just, you got three couples that are obviously in love with each other, and a fourth that technically owns the house, and you got McKeever, who the only reason he's here initially is because he's the one who figured out how to break into the house and how to handle everything without bringing suspicion upon himself. And now he's doing it with 8 other people.
Yeah.
Which still, at a certain point, how many people can you fit in a freezer?
That is true.
Besides the point. Every night, without anybody noticing the lights were on.
Yeah, and the fireplace going.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What's more to talk about here in a minute?
Yes.
I do have one bonus like, if I may.
Okay.
My bonus like is one of the last lines of this thing. And I know you don't like McKeever.
Not particularly.
But there is something that Michael J. O'Connor says about him that I kind of appreciated.
Okay.
He says there's some people, all the entire film, they keep saying Michael J. O'Connor is the second richest man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, as they're watching McKeever leave, O'Connor says, there are richer men than I, referring to McKeever. Which I thought, that's an interesting, because McKeever may not have money, but he's got friends. He was able to bring everyone together. Did he want to do it initially? No, because he didn't want to lose his good thing, but I appreciated that thought of this man, because of what he did, even though it was technically wrong, was able to bring everyone together. We got he got back with his ex-wife. His daughter is now going to marry his new son-in-law. Love wins. Fairy tale ending.
Yes.
And it's all because of McKeever when you get right down to it. So I loved that I love the what he said when he realized what McKeever had more than he did was the love and the relationships and the friendliness that McKeever didn't have, and that's what made him richer than O'Connor.
Okay.
McKeever richer than O'Connor.
Okay.
Fair. I love that thought process. I think it's a little more than what the movie deserved.
Fair.
But I appreciated the attempt. So
fair.
Now we got to get into dislikes.
Yes. Again, sorry for those people who absolutely love this movie.
We have to say that about every film.
That is true.
The reason we try to be well-rounded in our review. That's why we try to do 3 likes and 3 dislikes, because every dark cloud has a silver lining, and every silver cloud has a dark lining.
Very true.
So we got to cover the whole thing.
That is true.
Your first dislike.
My first dislike, again, I think I spoke on this earlier. This is less of a Christmas movie than White Christmas. I know that's, for some people, it's like, oh my gosh. It's like, White Christmas is the greatest Christmas movie ever. I would disagree with you.
That would be his wife saying that.
Yeah, again, I disagree with my wife on this movie.
I'm just sitting here. It's like, how can it be the best Christmas movie when Muppet Christmas Carol exists?
That is true. But, so, yes, it does have Christmas themes to it. It does have, again, I think personally, I enjoy White Christmas more over this as a Christmas movie because, again, I disagree with White Christmas as a solid Christmas movie because you have Christmas in the beginning, Christmas in the end. This movie has one scene that's Christmas. Yes, you can nitpick little things here and there, say, oh, it's got the spirit of Christmas. I don't necessarily agree with you, but it is a good story. It is a good story. I just don't agree that it is a solid Christmas movie because there has to be more to it than just one scene at the end of the film.
Fair.
So that is my argument for this movie not being a contender to being, like the Christmas movie to be Christmas movie. And again, we would have to go and define a solid definition for.
And you're never going to get a definition everyone's going to agree on.
No.
You get a continuum, and that's why I said I am not fighting people over Die Hard.
Fair.
Because it's not worth it.
That is fair.
Because we're never going to disagree on what is and isn't. There are obviously some movies that everyone would agree are Christmas movies. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be movies we all agree aren't Christmas movies. Mm-hmm. But that gradient in between, I'm not fighting.
That is true. All right. So that is my first dislike. What is your first dislike of this movie?
My first dislike is a technical nitpick. And that is the rear projected scenes.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Now, most of the time when I see rear projection, I kind of just try to ignore it because that was the only way they could do those kind of scenes at the time of moving. If because you didn't really have a good way of doing tracking shot, or not tracking, but the moving camera shots a lot of times, not where it was smooth and everything. And most of the time when you see rear projection on that sort of thing, it's in cars, scenes in cars, where you still got most of the scene that's, not in motion, but out the back window, you can see the ground, the land receding away from you into the distance, or you can see stuff passing the car. This, they do it it's done 2 or 3 times of people walking in front of the rear projected screen, and bless their hearts, they're not the rear projection is not running, is not receding at the same rate they're walking. They're supposed to be walking towards us.
Yes,
and I'm like, how, Mr. McKeever, are you doing that? Because that doesn't work. That's not, you've got that at the wrong speed. There's no way you're walking that fast. You're not moonwalking forward like you're Michael Jackson. But that's the closest analogy I could think of. I'll grant you, this is a nitpick. It's a technical limitation of the time. Was it the best way to handle that? Probably not. I do like the concept of them staying in the same spot in the frame and them walking towards, and that's a good camera shot. I don't think they're really able to do it at this time very well, and I think you can see that when it happens in the film. And it really does show that this was the first time this movie studio was trying to do more expensive shots than perhaps they are used to doing.
Fair.
Because, like I said, this was the first of Allied Pictures' pictures, which is meant to be the A film, the prestige film from the company.
Yes.
It's meant to be that division of Monogram Pictures, which primarily did budget films. B movies. This is the B movie company's first A movie.
Yes.
They tried, bless their hearts, didn't quite work.
Okay, fair enough.
It was a thing that distracted me early on, so it's like, don't like that.
Okay.
It's a bit of a nitpick, I'll admit, but and I will admit this movie's going to get a bit of grace for me due to age, even though I have seen other films from this era that are able to do a lot of other things, but they also had bigger budgets than this film did.
True.
So yeah, the poor rear projected screen walking is my first dislike.
Okay.
What's your second?
My second dislike is I think this movie is it's too long. It's too long. It has so much build up in its first act. There's so much stuff going on in the second act. By the time you get to the third act, they're rushing to get this thing done. Mm-hmm. To me, because the story there are so many plots going on. And you have to try to tie those up as fast as you can in the third act. And by the way, you spent all this time in the first act, in the second act, and now in the third act, you have to rush everything. So, again, great build up, character, everything like that.
You just wish the pacing was better.
Yeah, I wish the pacing was better. I really wish the pacing was a lot better in this movie, because it would be more just like click, click, click. Okay, let's go. Let's tell a good story at a good pace and you use that budget wisely. And I think, again, it's just the pacing of this movie is just way off. And by the time the third act rolls around, there is just like a scene, again, the scene with Jim and what's her name again? Sorry? Trudy. In this restaurant, he had just previously gave her a coat. He didn't have the money for the coat, and now they're at this restaurant which he can't afford. He doesn't have any money, and okay, I get the comedy bit they're trying to do, but there's just certain little aspects. And okay, trim here, just tighten your story up a little bit, make it a little more. Not continuity, but more
congruous.
Thank you, congruous. Just give everything, smooth it out a little bit more. Again, this is the 40s, I get it, but I think it would have been nice if they would have just tightened this story up just a little bit, made it a little sharper, and instead of drawing everything out, and by the time your third act, you're already burned out. I was already burned out by the end of the second act. I was like, okay, can we get to the end of this film, please? So yeah, tighten everything up. It would have been a far better film. What's your second?
To a degree, I'm going to agree with you on that. But to me, the way you fix it is to take out his GI buddies from being in the film after he runs into them at the apartment and finds out, they're not going to be able to afford this apartment. Mm-hmm. Maybe have some scenes where they're at a local bar or something. And I understand the whole reasoning of, we can invite them over here. Mm-hmm. We can take care of them. They can hang out here while we're doing this, because who's it going to hurt? I understand that. They have blessings. They want to share those blessings.
Right.
Granted, technically ill-gotten blessings.
Yes. Illegal.
But I understand wanting to share in their good fortune, and this was a way to take care of it.
Yeah.
And it does lead to a great misunderstanding scene when O'Connor thinks that the baby that Trudy is holding is hers.
That was funny.
When in fact it was actually
the married couple.
I don't think it was Margie Temple. I think it was the other one, and I don't have her name in here. But that was a funny scene. Mm-hmm. But literally after that moment, those other four characters
disappear.
Almost have nothing to do in the film.
Yeah, they're
there.
Characters.
They're in the background. They are filling up the scenes. The husbands, they do help with the art, the GI stuff. Mm-hmm. They didn't technically have to be at the house for that. They could have. I don't know. Maybe they would have somehow convinced the HOA, the landlord, to let them keep the kid in the apartment and let that be done. And then they could, but go, oh, we still got all these other people who are in just as bad a shape as we are that can't find homes. Hey, you hear about those old army barracks, those could be converted into housing, and you could still have them working and coming in and out, but then they would go home to this apartment at the end of afterwards. They wouldn't have to keep showing up and literally just be there to fill room. And I think that's part of the issue you're coming up with, because when you get right down to it, it still comes down to Trudy and Jim, Mary and Michael, and then
McKeever.
Those are the 5 characters we need to be focused on.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones living in the house.
Yeah.
The others, I think bringing in those other people, even though they don't really do anything after halfway through the film, I think complicate things, because you're still thinking, oh, we need to keep up with who these people are, and even though you don't, and you could still even have the Christmas party, the scene at the Christmas scene in there unedited, unchanged. I think you could still do that, and just so you know, oh, these are Joe's friends that he's working with, and just leave it at that, because that's all they are.
Yeah, basically.
And I do think that adds to what your problem is. But I think for the most part, it's not as bad as you're making it out to be. But teach their own.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think if you just tighten the script up a little bit, like you said, and to me, the way you do that is you knock out his GI buddies, and then continue on from there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there's a lot of fluff in this movie that could have been trimmed down a little bit.
It's the kind of fluff I kind of expect from this time period.
True.
Because it's how they do the storytelling. But at the same time, and granted, this is me looking at it with a modern eye. I'm used to modern film. I'm looking back at this old one, and this is the kind of thing, if I were not reviewing the film, if I were not being critical of the film, I would chalk this up to time period, quirk of the film, quirk of how films were made back then.
True.
I can see many plays that would have these characters
I
in it. I
definitely agree with you on that.
And that's why they might be included here. It's one of those things where I could just move it over. I could put it there and go and leave it if I wasn't being critical and not having to come up with dislikes. So, yeah, I think the GI buddies, as present as they are in most of the film with having nothing to do, I think is part of the issues. And that's my second dislike.
Fair.
What's your third?
My third dislike. Now, granted, this is a critique of the film, and more, it's my personal opinion. I really didn't like McKeever as a character. Again, I understand, he's got his routine to where he breaks into someone's house and uses their stuff and is very tight and controlled about everything, even though he doesn't have any money. Somehow he's able to keep everything nice and tidy and everything like that, which makes no sense to me. And how he's, getting away with it and that kind of stuff. I'd be like, to the point where, let me choose my words correctly or properly. To me, McKeever is a character who he thinks he's self-important. Let me explain. This is a guy for the last three winters has broken into this guy's house, squatted there, used his stuff. And again, this is the 1940s, people. There were no such thing as modern conveniences like we have wasn't the thing like it was then. So, and he's having to duck into the freezer to evade the authorities. And it feels like he's entitled to everything. That's what it seems like to me. And I don't like characters like that. I don't like characters who think they're entitled. So he walks around in his robes, eats his food, chews on his cigars, everything. Just flaunting everything he doesn't have. Now, I do understand it's a character who is either he didn't do well at the end of the Great Depression in the 1930s. I get that. Now, granted, be like, I may be totally off base.
All I'm going to say.
Okay.
The point of this character in the film.
Okay.
He's not a serious character. He's never intended to be a serious character. He may have a couple serious lines to say, but his primary role in the story is to, I believe, to be I hate to say the comedic relief, because there's a lot of comedy present throughout the rest of the movie.
Right. Okay.
But he's meant to be he's
the wise counsel?
The fool.
Okay.
The kind of the jester to the court in a way. If you think of it with, like, say, and I'm using allegory here, of course.
Okay, fair.
O'Connor is the king. His ex-wife technically might be queen. Daughter's the princess. Jim and his GI buddies, they are other courtiers in the court. And then you've got McKeever.
Who's the jester?
Who is the jester, who he can pretty much say whatever he wants and give whatever wisdom he has, even though it's kind of a fool's wisdom. Not that it means it's not good wisdom,
right?
But it's the kind of wisdom that only comes, it's like, out of the mouths of babes kind of a thing. Okay. In his foolishness, he's able to say wise things. And by foolishness, I mean, I'm only meaning he's not one of the uppers, the higher class. He's
upper echelon.
Right. I may be reading way too much into this.
Again, I may be too.
But I don't think the point of his character is, as within the story, is to be, look at all this cool stuff I'm able to do because I broke into this guy's house. I'm using this guy's stuff because he's not using it. He's none the wiser. That's not a big deal because until it's not the smartest thing for him to do. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But and admittedly, this is what's needed for the story to take place.
Oh, agreed.
But I think what it comes down to is he's the one who picks up on, hey, you and Michael and Mary, y'all, I can kind of sense a connection between y'all two. Y'all should get together and get married because, y'all are getting up there in age. It's horrible to spend that kind of time alone. He doesn't know that they're ex.
He knows no idea. Of that.
He has no idea what the relationship is. To a degree, I don't think he understands who any of these people really are.
He probably
but
doesn't.
He's able to read signs that he's able to see that perhaps in their modernity that maybe is too clouded for those people to see. He's able to make the suggestion, hey, y'all should get married, because he doesn't know about all of the complicated emotions that came with having a divorce.
Fair.
But he is the one who's right, because it's in that simplicity able to nudge them into falling back in love.
Yeah.
He does say, I'm not saying it's perfect. I understand why you don't like the character.
Yeah.
He's a bit on the annoying side.
He is.
But I don't think he's meant to be like
uppity, whatever kind of
I don't think he's meant to be entitled. I think he is just trying the way to live. He's found what he sees as a gold mine that's not causing any problems. And to him, it's no big deal because, he doesn't have anything. He doesn't feel the need to hoard anything. He doesn't understand why they would want to hoard anything. That's my thought process there.
Fair. I do see
that's
your
my
point.
pushback.
I do see your point. I think it just by the point be like, again, I understand the comedic aspect of the reverse of Mike having to be the servant to McKeever. I get that. I think at one point I was as annoyed as Michael was to O'Keefer.
Yeah.
And I think I was at that point. It's like, okay,
I think,
flip it. Please flip this story.
I think you just did not like the character from his introduction.
No,
which
I didn't.
I get that.
Okay.
But I do think you may have read too much into it from that bias.
I probably did. And I fully admit I probably do have a bias. But it's just, I just don't like the character, honestly.
And
I
that's
don't
fair.
like
That is very fair.
Yeah. But yeah, I do have a bonus fourth whenever you get down to your third.
My third dislike for this film, it's trying so hard to be a higher quality film, and it's just tripping over itself in a couple of places.
Fair.
It's almost like it's reaching farther than it granted, this movie went over budget. It didn't have a big budget to be a movie anyway. But it's trying so hard, and I think that's the issue that I run into. It's like it wants to be a higher budget film, but its story, it doesn't really lend itself to that.
Fair.
Where it does it, like I said earlier with the rear projection, doesn't quite work as well because they don't know as much of what they're doing.
True.
I give them kudos for at least going for a more simpler film for this studio's first A film. But at the same time, there's a certain bit across the entire film, a certain air of amateurness.
Okay.
I can't even really pinpoint exactly what I'm talking about to this. The fact that this was actually up for an Academy Award, I kind of find amazing. Not that I don't think it wouldn't be deserved, but it was also going up against Miracle on 34th Street, which kind of blew any other film that was going to go up against it out of the water for this time period. Because it had the power of Macy's department store behind it and Gimbals.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, in this instance, David could not beat Goliath. And at the same time, the other one is a much more Christmassy story. It hits around the time voting for Academy Awards is going to be going on. You do get a bit of recency bias. I know this came out around the same time, but it doesn't have that same professionalism to it, for lack of a better term. I really don't know the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
Because, like I said, it's just because it's trying to reach to, it's ambitious in what it is doing.
Okay.
And it's reaching a little farther than probably was necessary. Okay. And warranted in a couple scenes. I feel like that's the biggest issue.
Okay.
So, and there's a couple of other little choices that, like, I know you like the comedy bits, and I like the comedy bits too. But sometimes it feels like they don't know if this is meant to be a funny movie, a serious movie, or a lighthearted film.
Okay.
And there's a difference between lighthearted and comedy.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
It's trying to fit somewhere in between there, and it sometimes works, but because of how it's hitting, there's like aspects of it's like, I understand why this is not as popular as Miracle on 34th Street. I understand exactly why, because it's just not as good a film. And it's like a certain air of also ran, for lack of a better term. I hate to make it sound like my third dislike is just saying the movie is only okay, and that's my dislike. But I really don't know of a better way to put it, because that's what it comes down to. It's only an okay film. Okay.
That's okay.
And that's kind of that's one of the things I don't like about it, is it's only okay. And to a degree, that's frustrating. But that may be a me thing. I don't know.
That is fair.
But we do need to rate this film.
Okay, so before we do that, let me jump into a little bit of a fourth
Yes, you did have a bonus.
A little bonus that's like, so with this being based at the late 40s, I watched an amazing documentary on it's a YouTube channel called It's History. And they did an historical viewpoint of Trump Tower and where it's on Fifth Street, whatever. Be like, before that, it was a big department store that was enormous. Before that, it was like a I can't remember who billionaire's home it was. Granted, the house got demoed in the 40s. So I did a little more digging. And so this movie is based in 1947 because the GIs have come back. They're trying to, reestablish their lives. The fact that they're using Fifth Avenue for this house that's boarded up for the winter, which never made any sense. It makes sense, but it doesn't make any sense. Either or. Be like, at that time period.
To a degree, I think it fights our understanding because we see boarded up as abandoned. Yes. Is how we read it. Yeah. That wasn't, I think, the intention at the time. I think it's literally meant to be as this is a form of insulation.
Who knows?
But anyway.
Either or. By that time period, Fifth Avenue had become a shopping center. Literally. That entire run of Fifth Avenue. Again, back in the 20s, back in the teens and the 20s, even in the 30s, that area was just ultra rich, high-end luxury homes. By the end of the 40s, that district had become Macy's, had become Roebuck, had become all these big department stores. They were tearing down these mansions because these people had moved off Fifth Avenue. So to have this lone little house by the second richest man in the world who no one knows what he looks like. No, I don't buy that for 3 seconds. But either or, that's a nitpick. This should be a department store at this point. I'm just saying.
Okay, I follow what you're saying.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a little bit of pushback.
Okay.
I'm willing to bet the people who wrote this film did not live in New York.
Oh, probably not.
They were definitely out in Hollywood by this point.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, this is a bit fairy tale.
Yeah, it is. Oh, great.
And so they're thinking back to older times. They're trying to pull from older times, but then place it in modern day. So I could see why, okay, Fifth Avenue, that's where all the rich people live in New York City. Not really caring that that's no longer the case.
True.
That's my thought process there. This is like they're pulling from that. It doesn't really matter because most of the world isn't going to know that the rich people don't live on Fifth Avenue anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
Or that's where all the department stores are. And to push back a little bit about how nobody knows who this guy looks like. I'm fairly certain his pictures appeared in the paper a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
It could just be Jim has not seen this guy's picture. Because Michael recognizes Jim once he finally figures out who he is.
Right.
From Jim's picture in the paper about being, evicted and being handcuffed to this bed, them having to carry the whole bed out through that door.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly certain his picture's been in the paper. There were people out there who recognized him. It just so happens that the people that we are viewing the film through and with are GIs who have just got back from war within the last, say, 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
It's very possible they haven't picked up a newspaper and happened to see this guy and go, oh, this is Michael J. O'Connor. He's the second richest man in the world.
Right.
And it could be that until, the eviction, Jim had no need to know who Michael J. O'Connor was.
Okay, fair.
The GIs did not need to know who Michael J. O'Connor was.
Fair.
So the fact that they end up meeting Michael J. O'Connor with outside of the trappings of him being of his station, I can see how it would not have even occurred to them that this was the second richest man in the world that they were talking to.
Okay, fair.
That's my pushback there.
Okay.
Now, granted, anyone, those policemen should have known who that was.
Oh, yeah, police. Anybody else should have known who this guy was.
Everybody else, especially the policeman, because it's like, wait a minute, you're the one paying us to come walk into your house and check it out and make sure no one's here. And you're still wondering, why didn't you just call those guys up and say, "Hey, I'm going to be in the house for the next a month. Y'all don't have to come by."
Yeah, that would make more sense.
I mean, you don't get that nice scene, but at the same time, I was sitting there going, "Hey, Mike, I have an idea for you. Why don't you pull one of those policemen off to the other room and say, and let them in on so they can just leave and we can move on instead of what they ended up doing." But
just dragging the story along. Yeah.
I don't know, that's me trying to bring too much real world into it, I think.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my pushback.
Okay, fair. Because I do recall in the film, they do say, they'll be like, there's not even a picture of O'Connell. Not even a picture of him.
Oh, that may be true.
And to me, I'm like, wait a minute. Rockefeller, the most richest, powerful man in the world, had his picture taken by the press. And they couldn't suppress it. You were saying the second most powerful man in the world, there's no picture of him? He's that recluse? Give me a break.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Granted, Rockefeller, I think, liked actually being in the spotlight.
Yeah, Rockefeller loved being the
so
spotlight.
That's why. So he was.
That's fair.
You have that.
That's
this
fair.
Guy being a recluse could be he didn't want to be in the spotlight. He just wanted to do his business, and he probably made sure. I mean, he would disappear for 6 months at a time. The only way people knew that he wasn't there is because they boarded up his house, and he had a place down there. And why the paparazzi didn't swarm the place? Could be he was paying the press to stay away.
That's a good point. That could be a good point. Either or.
It's the 40s. The paparazzi is not crazy yet.
True.
Or as crazy.
Crazy. Oh, let's not even go into the fact be like the press back then could be suppressed by either the elites be like, oh yeah, don't report that, or Hollywood, because Hollywood did that all the time. I'm not saying you don't have a point. Yeah. I'm saying it is possible. Yeah, there might be a probability. There might be a probability that either or. That was my little bonus dislike. Either or. Okay, let us move forward. Ratings. What is your rate? I'm giving this movie an 8. Giving it an 8. Okay. It's a fun little film. There's a lot of grace I give this, it being a 1940s film. Yeah, it doesn't blow me out of the water like some other stuff from this time period, some other classics like Miracle on 34th Street or It's a Wonderful Life, that I do believe myself are much more well-deserving of the Christmas classic title. But this is a fun little movie. It's fun. It's easy. Yeah. Like I said, this is a donut. And I like donuts. Okay, fair. You just don't gorge yourself on donuts. True. Grant, you shouldn't gorge yourself on steak either, but... No. Yeah, this is an 8. For what it is, it's a good film. Yeah. What is your rating? I am torn between giving this a 6.5 and a 7. Because it is a good story. Do not get me wrong. I think some of it could have been trimmed a little bit here and there. Mm-hmm. But I would not say this is like a quote unquote Christmas movie. It does have a Christmas scene. It does have this. It does have forgiveness. Mm-hmm. People learning from mistakes. Again, that was a very common theme in movies of that time period. Look at our It's a Wonderful Life. Look at that. Same thing. Mm-hmm. You look at Miracle on 34th Street. Very similar. It has a good story. It has good characters. I may not exactly been the biggest fan of O'Keever. Not O'Keever. Sorry. Oh, Matt. Now I'm getting the names mixed up. Darn it. Right. Either or. Our main squatter. It was McKeever. Yeah, I may not been the biggest fan of that character because, again, he probably got on my nerves too much. But which I think that was his purpose. So he was designed to get on your nerves. But I enjoyed it. So it's somewhere between, for me, it's a 6.5 and it's 7. Mm-hmm. It's a good movie. It's not one of these, classics that I'm going to go back and watch again because I think it's a little too long in the tooth. So yeah, it's somewhere in between that 6.5 and a 7. I really can't decide where it's at.
Okay.
All right. So
we'll just say 7.
We'll say it a 7.
Okay. Next week. Or not next week.
No,
next year.
Yeah, next year.
This will be for the live show people. This will be on Monday, the 5th of January. No, we are not trying to switch to a Monday night. It's just because of scheduling. Mm-hmm. This is the best way we can handle that.
Yeah.
But we'll be going back through Dragonwary again, just like last year. And we are jumping all the way back to the second Dragon Ball film. The reason is we already reviewed the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at Sleeping Princess in Devil's Castle. I know nothing about it. So other than this is that era of Dragon Ball where it's like, of anime films where it's like, let's just throw something at the wall and make a movie out of it, and it's going to we're going to in some way adapt some plot from the manga, from the actual anime. That's all I know about it. So that's what we're reviewing in 2 weeks. So join us for that. I'm going to we're going to do some bumpers, do intermission, talk about some other peeps you should check out, and then we're going to talk about some Outlaw Star.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
This week, we suggest checking out The Rushmore Show. The Rushmore Show is the place for ranking the ultimate top 4 in sports, video games, nostalgia, movies, and so much more. Each week, you can join Andy and Kirk as they spark engaging discussions and friendly debates, making The Rushmore Show your compass in the realm of pop culture rankings. You can find more on their YouTube channel, The Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top 4 and nothing more. The Cellcast would also like to thank the following patrons: PaulJPowers.com, The Monster Island Film Vault.
Thanks, Nate.
Edwin Gonzalez.
Thanks.
Artsy Steph.
Yo.
And, especially for this week, Wendy and Primo for giving us money in person to review this film. That's almost a bribe, but it's not. If you would like to have your name shouted on the show, special art from Jacob and uncut episodes, you can donate to us at the $5 level.
Yes.
Or, if you want to do like Wendy and force us to review something within reason, you can donate to us for an additional $5 for a total of 10, which technically Artsy Steph has already done, so she's already got a spot reserved for next year, meaning right now we only have 2 spots remaining for 2026.
Yes.
So get your reservation in now. Brain fart. Oh. Go donate to us on Patreon or give us a private message if you don't want to go through them. We understand.
Yes.
Also, go check out our Redbubble store for t-shirts, stickers, all that kind of good stuff to help support the show. Or if you don't want to do that, if you can't support us monetarily, which we understand, please share us with your friends.
Yes.
Share us with your enemies. Just throw our podcast out there to the wind. Like,
share it with your local squatter.
Yeah. He may not, I'm sure he's got a cell phone he can listen to it on.
Probably.
Because, this is 2025. Everyone's got a cell phone. But go do that to support us. We would appreciate it. The more, the merrier. Listening to us is always appreciated. Also, when Jacob's Like an Artist stream start back up, whenever that may be,
yes,
please go support him over there. And then on Tuesday nights, starting in the new year, actually maybe even next week, I don't really know my schedule, but definitely in the new year, join me on Tuesday nights as I'm currently playing through Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. because I've got to get that done by February. So yeah, go support us over there.
Yes. Do it now.
Welcome to the future.
Transferring to autopilot mode.
A place where good guys finish last.
I'll make them wish they'd never been born.
A quick draw is the best defense.
Nothing personal, but I'm here to kill you.
And your wits are all you can count on. A future where one treasure is coveted above all else.
Tell me the coordinates of the galactic ley line.
Legend speaks of the galactic ley line, offering the ultimate power of the universe to those who seek its glory.
The doors have opened.
Utilizing the latest technology, a living starship has been built with the power to find the galactic ley line.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All systems green.
By twist of fate, it has fallen into the hands of an outlaw. An outlaw named Gene Starwind.
Well, let's blow some hot kisses to my devoted fans.
His luck is about to change.
Goodbye, Gene.
Together with his crew of bounty hunters, he'll take to the stars.
Accelerate and fly down their throats.
Outlaw Star. Weekdays at 5:30. Time to roll the dice. Only Toonami.
Between Life and Machine is our first episode of the evening. It was written by Hajime Itate and directed by Mitsuru Hongo. In this episode, Melfina begins to doubt Jean's dedication to helping her find out who she is and is visited by the youngest McDougal brother, Harry. Jean is contacted by the elder McDougal brother, Ron, who wants to discuss what they know about the galactic ley line, which is pretty much nothing.
What we understand right now. Yes.
And then fighting ensues.
Yes.
What is your thoughts on this episode?
It's what you just described. It's, okay, so we're finally getting somewhere with this galactic ley line story.
We have moved it forward an inch.
Yeah, we moved forward an inch, finally, after... What
20 episodes, 18 episodes.
18 episodes.
17 episodes. We have 10 episodes of this thing left.
Yeah.
Granted, not to throw Neon Genesis Evangelion under the bus, it is kind of the same way they accept that it's kind of the same flow that one show had, where the beginning had a lot of heavy story.
Yeah.
The ending has a lot of heavy story. And the middle is filler.
Filler in a way.
Not bad filler, but filler.
Yeah.
Or at least not with Evangelion. This one, there's been a couple like, really? This is where we're going?
Yeah. Yeah, the cactus episode. Anybody?
That's funny. That's fun. Jim getting hypnotized by a cactus.
Oh yeah, to become its servant. Oh my gosh. But either
Melfina
way.
stomping it to death.
Oh, that was hysterical. But this episode, we do get where we get a Melfina episode in a way. We get where she's being pursued by the younger McDougal brother.
Mm-hmm.
And we have this conflict of like...
pursued is not the word I would use.
Yeah, I wouldn't say pursued.
Stalked.
Yeah, stalked
is
stalk's a better word. Stalked is a better word.
Even stalks are into cyberspace.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes. But like, poor Melfina, good night.
At least we get to see where that costume she wears in the opening that we never saw anywhere
that
else.
Is true. That's
what it's in cyberspace.
Yeah, it's in cyberspace. Either or. But like, it's a good episode. We get how crazy the Dougals are. Mm-hmm. We get the older McDougal and Jean and their meet up in the restaurant, and we knew this was going to turn into a gunfight.
Yeah.
By the word Gene Starwind.
Yes.
But it's like, yeah, it's just like this is a good episode. It's okay. We're a little bit forward, like a fraction of an inch. We're getting closer to where we need to be at story wise. But overall, like it's a decent story. It's okay. That happened.
I really feel like, at least from my perspective, this is not intended to be the start of the the third act of the show. This is more of a...
It feels like the third act.
Well, you know what I mean by the third act. The first act was everything up to them getting the outlaw, painting the outlaw star and them going, to me, the first act goes to them doing the space race.
Fair.
Because that was the last time it really felt like we were in the story.
Yeah. Before
we were stuck on Haefong for the past month of worth of episodes. And we're not quite out of that second section yet. Like I was on the second arc yet. This is more of a reminder episode of, oh, by the way, the McDougal brothers are a thing. Melfina still would like to know where she came from. They know why. By the way, do you remember Hot Ice Hilda? We're going to talk about her again in this episode.
Yeah.
This was very much a recap episode in many ways with a little bit of action. Well, I say a little bit. There's a lot of action in this. But it was very much storyline-wise, it was a recap to remind you who all these people are, to reintroduce the McDougal brothers, because it has been a bunch of episodes since we saw and remind us that they're a threat, especially since we know we've got assassins that we're going to also have to deal with later on.
Agreed.
That we've only dealt with one of those yet. I think that's pretty much what this episode was. It's an okay episode for what it is. I did like a lot the action scene, especially the caster fight between Ron McDougal and Jean. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
And seeing, the Jean's auto wind weapon actually does have a way to defeat it. It's by shooting another auto wind weapon at it. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, this was very much hey, here's what you think you needed before we jump to the last arc of this.
Yeah.
I'm assuming 2 or 3 episodes from now.
Probably.
But yeah. That's it.
Pretty much.
And I thought this was a good Melfina episode, I will say.
It was a good Melfina episode.
Dealing with she doesn't really know if she can trust Jean, because Jean's not, admittedly, Jean's not doing what he told her she would do.
That is true.
Because they've been stuck on Haefong for the past month. Because they can't get money.
Yeah.
And
because Jean, like usual, will be like, yeah, I'm just looking for the big gig. That's it.
And
he's not helping.
At least this episode, one thing this episode does do is finally convince Jean, hey, we can't wait anymore. We need to get off this planet and get to the galactic ley line, whatever that is. We can't wait around anymore. And that's why he's able to go to talk to Fred Lowe in the next episode.
Yes.
Or why he does go talk to Fred Lowe in the next episode.
Fred Lowe. And be like, oh, you need to do a favor for me. It's like,
let's go ahead and get into that.
Yeah, let's just get into that one.
The strongest woman in the universe. Written by Hajime Yatate and directed by Mitsuru Hongo.
Yes.
In this episode, Fred Lowe convinces Jean and the crew of the Outlaw Star to enter the Universal Strongman Tournament to defeat a woman named Reiko Ando. He promised to marry her if she won the tournament 5 times in a row. Which, considering the team he plays for, was a mistake. Trivia for this episode, because I actually do have trivia. One of Reiko Ando's opponents sports a pair of boxing gloves, yet there seems to be no rule in the tournament stating the required use of any such equipment.
Yeah.
The magazine Jean is holding near the end of the episode is named Sunrise 10, a reference to Sunrise Studios, the animation studio that produced Outlaw Star.
Yes.
And lastly, what did I say? This is episode 18?
Yes. I think so.
At 18 episodes in, after it being teased way back on like episode 4 or 5, Aisha Clan finally actually uses her beast mode.
Yes, finally. And I can't.
What took so long?
And I can't draw it.
I understand why in the first episode they didn't do it. Blue Heaven didn't have a moon.
Yeah.
I get it. It took until this one in a space werewolf for her to finally actually use it.
Yes. I personally I do enjoy where Gene gets up, does his little drag thing, and he gets his butt kicked in the first round. I was like, yes,
we failed to mention.
Thank you.
Is an order they would not let Aisha in to
because she's a Qatar
because she's a Qatar, and the last time they let a Qatar compete in the tournament, let's see. Her opponent nearly died. The audience nearly died, and
destroyed the arena.
Yeah. So they don't let Qatar compete anymore because of that.
Why?
It's like, you know what? All of that is fair. And I don't remember why Twilight Suzuka couldn't compete, or knowing her, she didn't want to.
Period.
Which is fair. And fair. That's not really Melfina's thing.
Fair.
So there's only 2 other crew members left. Jim and Gene. So they pull a Cloud Strife on Gene and make him dress up in drag. And then he gets punched in like the first minute.
He gets taken out in the first minute, which is like, okay.
It's this great setup for what sounds like it'd be a funny episode, all for it to go, oh, we didn't even get to the commercial break yet.
No.
Before he's out. And now Aisha has stolen another competitor's costume, locked her in a locker, and is now fighting under the name Firecat.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh no. And then there's this
other wrestling episode.
And then there's another fighter who doesn't technically she probably shouldn't be fighting because she's got other things to handle, but if there's going to be a strongest woman in the universe competition and I'm not involved, then there's obviously something wrong. So she fights, and come to find out, she's a space werewolf. Which means Aisha Clan's got to transform to fight the darn thing. And I'm like,
and
okay,
that's it.
And all of this, and technically, all this was they did all this because Fred Lowe gave them the job to go compete in this tournament to defeat his fiancée. Do you want to get right down to it? So he didn't have to get married to her, because if she wins this fifth match, she'll have to start over. Or if she wins, she'll have to marry him. And if she loses,
she's got to start over.
She's going to start over. So it's like, Fred, bite the bullets on this one. You're stuck. You might find you like her, at least in a friendly sort of way.
And according
your butt.
According to Fred, he's like, no, I'm too much of a free spirit. Like, okay, bud, I don't agree with you, but
should have told her the truth. I know you were trying to let her down gently. Once she won her first tournament, tell her the truth. At least at that point. But no, you had to hire Gene to come to it. And kudos to Fred Lowe. He did honor the letter of the job. He did give the money to Gene, despite the fact Gene did not win.
That is true.
Because the job was not to beat her, it was to compete. And she still lost.
And he broke his hand in the process. Or correction, she broke his hand. Which is fair.
And then they're sharing a hospital room.
Yes.
At the end of the episode, I'm going, Fred, you may find out you're not the free spirit you think you are.
That is true.
But I don't care if we ever find out, because I hate Fred Lowe.
Fair. That is fair.
I hate this character so much. And it's not because he's gay.
Right.
I just hate this character.
He's
annoying.
Oh, yeah, he's very annoying. But we finally get some leadway into, we're actually going to find the Galactic Ley Line. And do they know where they're going? No.
And at least this is an ongoing, this actually is coming off of the last episode.
Yeah, it is.
So these are connected, and we did bring back the dude who obviously is the inventor of the ship.
Yeah.
He's showed up and goes, oh, of course y'all don't know. I can't figure out why y'all are still here. Oh, I realize it's because y'all don't know where to go. Hang on. I'm going to go find my notes and give you an email here in the next couple days. And then he hangs up. It's like, Dude, what's wrong with you? I'm with Jim. I don't understand a thing you're saying.
Me either, yeah.
Here's the thing. I know I watched this show 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And because I remember scenes, I like the beginning of the last episode where they were talking about the difference between humans and cyborgs and robots and biodroids, what they call Melfina. I remember that sequence.
Oh, yeah.
Vividly.
Yes.
I did not remember the rest of the episode.
No.
It's like, I must have fallen asleep right after that.
It's like, oh, that's cool. What happened? Don't remember.
So I'm assuming by the end of the show, they get to the galactic ley line.
You think?
I don't remember if they do or not. Honestly,
I remember rewatching this entire season when you gave me that DVD set.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching it. I was like, oh, yeah, it ended. How did this end? What happened? I don't remember.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting
to
get there.
Fred, what's going on?
Hey, boo-boo. Anyway.
Where's the galactic ley line? I don't know.
Next week, we will be looking at the episodes. In 2 weeks.
Thank you.
With the Sleeping Princess in the Devil's Castle, we will be reviewing the episodes Law and Lawlessness.
Yes.
Where apparently Jean's going to be working for the pirates. And cats and girls and spaceships.
Oh, boy. Oh, my.
I would like to point out that the one episode that was cut from this is in 3 weeks. It was cut from the original U.S. broadcast.
Oh.
The Hot Springs episode is coming in 3 weeks.
Oh, my gosh.
In 3 episodes.
Yes,
so that'll be fun.
Tantalizing. Stay tuned.
Anyway, thank y'all for joining us this evening.
No, it's meow, 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 meow.
Nya, 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 nya. I can feel it. Okay.
Anyways.
Join us next year in the year 2026 for all that. But in the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
To follow Jacob and Drew's individual internet exploits, check out the Linktree links in the show notes. You can email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter or X @cast_cell. Follow our Facebook page, The Cellcast Podcast, and join our Facebook group, The Cell Nation, our YouTube channel, Cellcast, and our Rumble channel, The Cellcast Gaming. You can join us every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central for our live recordings of our episodes on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. You can also join Drew on those same streaming channels on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central for gaming streams. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts can be downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. Our bad movie theme is It's Party Time by Gregory Snegoff, with additional audio from the film Titanic: The Legend Goes On, and remember, that's Cell with a single L.
No, wait, you're falling in love? Never mind. And by the way, where's the galactic ley line? Anybody?
Also, from all of us here at the Cellcast, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes.